Hello, dear students. This is Sushma Singh, and you are watching Booster Classes. I welcome you all to today's session, wherein we are going to do the comprehensive study of yet another significant poem from Hornbill's book of Standard 11 CBSE. The title of this poem is The Laburnum Top, composed by one of the greatest poets of his generation, Ted Hughes. Watch the video till the end and get the in-depth explanation of this lovely poem. First and foremost, let me give you its overview. The poem Laburnum Top presents a complementary relationship between the goldfinch and the laburnum tree. This poem describes the top of a laburnum tree and captures the activity of the birds living in it. The goldfinch brings transformation in the laburnum tree. She brings life to the silent tree with her entry. Indeed, the life and energy that the bird brings to the tree is the most attractive feature of this lovely poem. In respect of the tone of the poem, we find that the overall tone is that of sadness and silence because the words and the phrases like silence, still, yellowing leaves, seeds fallen, subsides to empty, all these words are conveying sadness and hopelessness. However, there is a sense of joy and celebration when the bird lands on the tree. And concerning the style of the poem, we find that it is a free verse, it is written in a free verse because there isn't any specific rhyme scheme in this poem. Well, this poem is not at all a difficult poem, yet it is liable to yield a very strong message. Let's take a look at its theme. The poet holds a clear message for us. He says that life is a process of exchange and transformation. People are alive because they undergo exchange of energy. In the poem, the goldfinch transforms the laburnum tree and makes it alive. The resonance of life gets reflected by the sound, a symbol of life made by the birds and living in the tree. He also highlights the intimate connection between the soul and the body. The soul fills the body with life force. The body and the soul are actually complementary to each other. One without the other is incomplete. Here, tree is a symbol of body and goldfish is a symbol of soul. The theme of motherhood in this poem is introduced by the arrival of the mother goldfinch. Well, let me now annotate stanza 1 for your better understanding. In the first three lines, the poet presents the effect of autumn and the natural changes associated with this season. The laburnum tree isn't out of grip of autumn season. On autumnal September afternoon, the laburnum tree stands silent due to absence of a bridge and still without any movement, as if it lacks the spontaneity of life. The leaves of the tree are turning yellow, and all its seeds have fallen down. The tree stands like nothing can redeem this tree from its autumnal sleep. Now, here the leaves yellowing and seeds fallen depict nothing but a sense of hopelessness. The second stanza describes the main activity of the poem. The silence on the tree top, that is deathly tree, becomes alive. It comes to the vibrance of life and it trembles and shakes as the bird goldfinch, like the soul of the tree, arrives at the end of the branch with a cheer up. Her entry into the thickness of the branches is compared with that of a lizard. Her movement is sleek, alert, and abrupt, just like a lizard. And this movement of the goldfinch depicts that the mother bird wants its nest to remain undiscovered and safe. The bird is here, as a matter of fact, a symbol of motherhood. There is sound activity and movement when mother goldfinch returns. The young ones of the bird are filled with excitement not only because of the food that the mother has brought, but also because of the mother's love. They start creating noise on the arrival of their mother, and the whole tree seems to vibrate with the fluttering of wings and the sounds of her chicks. Indeed, the arrival of the bird brings about a celebratory mood amidst the whole tree. The poet compares the return of the mother to an engine start or like shutting a machine in motion. Her arrival in the nest has suddenly started up the silent machine. Here, the young ones. With their chirrups and movements, the whole tree comes alive and it trembles and feels enthusiastic, as if the tree gains life after the bird lands on. Here, the goldfinch family is the machine, and the goldfinch is the engine of a family. Goldfinch feeds his family, providing the fuel, that is the nutrition that the machine, that is here the bird's family, needs in order to be energetic and active. And after feeding them, the mother bird moves out abruptly with light steps by showing her barred face, which is actually her identity mark and symbol of recognition. Her dark colored striped face with the yellow body seemed as though she had been wearing a mask, and her dark colored striped face is visible, but her body is yellow colored and hides behind the yellow leaves of the tree. By showing this identity, this barred face, the mother bird is actually calling their attention to her, reminding her children that she is their mother. Well, here we have come to the final stanza of the poem. In the concluding stanza, we find that before leaving, the goldfinch makes a strange, short, and high pitched sound, just like whispering. Then she heads towards the vast sky, and the laburnum tree once again falls back into silence and stillness, and everything seems to be the same as it was before the arrival of the goldfinch. Just like the bird's sudden arrival, its departure is also momentary, exactly like the entry of the soul into a body and its leave taking. This poem contains some important poetic devices that make the poem rich and more interesting for reading. You can see how beautifully the poet has used metaphor, simile, symbols, alliteration, and so on. Students, you will get all the poetic devices used in this poem on the slide, so you can just take a note so that you can keep revising even later on. Here are a few important questions from the poem. So without fail, solve them and deepen your understanding. I'm extremely hopeful that you all must have got the in-depth explanation of this poem, and I'm really looking forward to your valuable comments. Thank you for watching.